Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 16 of Financial Fashion Talk Podcast. I'm the CEO, Mr. Best.
I'm the CFO, Mr. Riley Best.
And I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back for another week. It's been pretty awesome experiencing, connecting with you guys on Facebook Live for this long. This is week 16. And I made an accident and put the wrong number on the episode, man. So we got kind of misnumbered.
Right.
But this is indeed week 16. We thought it was gonna be week 17, but I ended up misnumbering an episode. Okay. But nevertheless, we back for episode 16. Been a long time coming. So how you feeling, CFO?
Man, I'm feeling great, feeling wonderful, man. How about yourself, man?
Man, feeling good. How was your week so far?
Hey, man, pretty good so far. That's what I mean. Pretty good so far, man.
That's good, man. Yeah. That's good. It's good to be back. Good to be back on. How everybody's doing? Welcome to episode 16 once again. And we want to interact with you guys again. I remember we had a segment, Question Us, that we started with on the podcast, and we want to kind of get that back going because we want to interact with you guys through the comments. So we want you guys to comment and give you guys a perspective on the conversation that we're about to have. And so we're going to go ahead and get on. And the first thing I wanted to talk about, bro, is celebration without progression. You know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking about it today, about how we love to do things according to the reward that we will receive afterwards. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of live our life doing things according to what we will receive in return.
Right.
So I'm saying, like, sometimes we'll celebrate things without a reason to celebrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
And it begins to be like a cultural thing where we just want to have any reason to celebrate.
Right.
So what's your viewpoint about that? Do you feel like it's because we have an instant society? Like a society where everything is instant and we just want things right now, or we want a reason to celebrate?
Well, I mean, I don't think that's just right now, you know what I'm saying? That's something that's been going on, you know what I'm saying, before now. But I think, man, it's just like a maturity level, you know what I'm saying? It's a maturity level, man, that you have to reach before you can actually like step into that realm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, bro, since we're talking about celebration without progression, I think it's very important that we talk about having a balanced lifestyle. You know, and celebration is not all the time bad. I just feel like sometimes we tend to actually, we want to feel good.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so it seems like we would love to feel good rather than actually doing something worthwhile that'll cause us
to feel good longer.
No, I'm saying like the greater good. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of just wanting to feel good, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not so much about feeling, because you can actually feel good without doing something good for you.
Right.
So I'm saying like it has to be a better reason for a celebration.
Most definitely.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, we want to celebrate without progression. And I feel like we have to start celebrating when we start progressing. We have to have a reason for the celebration, not just to feel good.
Right.
Don't just celebrate feeling good. Celebrate progress.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like, okay, it's 2020 now. You know, a lot of times we get New Year resolutions and we make New Year goals and we make commitments. You see what I'm saying? But we'll do the smallest things, but we'll celebrate it like the progress is huge.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like we got to get back to actually finishing and executing and following through on things before we celebrate.
True that. That's true. But a lot of times, man, I feel like, you know, we want the rewards of the progress without actually doing the process.
You said what, brother?
I said a lot of times we want the rewards of the progress without actually doing the process.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
You want the rewards of the progress without actually doing the work.
Right.
That's and I think that. Do you think that's a reason? That's a result of living in the instant society, because society now is like we want everything instant. It's set up for you to get things right now.
Yeah.
Like we talked about last week on the phone when we talked about like, okay, if you hungry, you got two options of how you can eat.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like you might want fried chicken, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got the microwavable version of fried chicken, and you got the fried chicken that you actually got to go in the kitchen. You got to put it in the batter
And prepare.
and you got to actually prepare your fried chicken.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But it's easier for you to actually get a microwavable dinner.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because the goal is just to fill your hunger.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But there's two ways you can actually do that, and I feel like the quickest way is pushed on us in society because it's easier.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? We'll kind of channel our lifestyle according to how society teaches us to, as far as everything being instant.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. So that's when we get into, we talk about instant gratification and delayed gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything instant is like quick.
Right.
And the saying says that anything worth having is worth waiting for.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So that tells you if it's instant, it's really not worth it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it took no time.
Right.
Things that take time actually have what you call substance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that go into it, just like baking a cake.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't bake a cake.
Growing vegetables.
You can't bake a cake in the microwave.
No, you can't. You can't. There's certain ones you can't. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
They ain't gonna, you know what I mean? They ain't gonna be as good as the one that you bake in the oven.
The results ain't gonna be the same.
Right. It's always like a replication of success.
We gotta find out how to do this thing, bro. Like as soon as the screen go blank, like it cuts off. Yeah, we was recording we was going to record the podcast and have it on the audio file for you guys to actually go to it and we can actually share it, because now the podcast will be available on like Shopify and Apple Podcasts, and we'll be able to send you guys the link. And even if you guys not on Facebook Live, we can send out the link so you guys can have it on your own. Y'all have a full episode, and we actually working on that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's get back. Yeah, so as far as like society, man, putting things in front of us, showing us instant gratification like all the time, it's like we kind of go with the flow. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of automatic, and of course, like a lot of the times we do it unconsciously. You see what I'm saying? Like we'll set up our life for these instant pleasures or instant gratifications, and we don't even realize that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because we just setting our life up, with the lazy attitude.
Well, you could say that. But like, what about somebody that never had nothing?
Somebody that never had nothing?
Yeah, somebody that never had nothing, and they just like the feeling of appreciation. You know what I'm saying? Like to feel like worth something. What about that situation? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, elaborate. Like what you mean?
Like as far as their celebration without progress.
I mean, that's the problem though. Like wanting to feel good. You see what I'm saying? Like we're not saying like it's a problem with wanting to feel good.
Yeah.
Because feeling good is good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you feel good, you'll get good.
Right.
So, but I'm saying like sometimes we want to feel good and we go about it the wrong way. You see what I'm saying? Like, because that celebrating, you might feel good, but I'm saying like you finna go back to the same circumstances.
Right.
You finna go back to the same thing you just was doing, like, because that good feeling wasn't enough to change your situation.
Right. Yeah, it was only in that moment.
Exactly. So
it was only in that moment.
Exactly. So that's what we saying, bro.
Yeah. I mean, because the greater things, they take time.
Right.
They take time. You know what I'm saying? Just like this right here, it's something that's not a fly by night thing. You know what I'm saying? This is something that we got to practice and incorporate with our everyday living. You know what I'm saying? And make it a practice. Because I don't think you just happen up and be different.
I mean, first, of course, like, it goes as far as like, okay, it is an individual thing, of course.
Right.
But I mean, I feel like each person should have goals. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So once that person establishes goals, that'll be a reason for them to celebrate. You see what I'm saying? See, the problem is that we celebrate without goals.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if we start being more goal oriented, you know what I'm saying? We know tomorrow's not promised, but I'm speaking on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We know tomorrow's not promised. So if you have the privilege of life right now, you see what I'm saying? Every day that you live, you want to deliberately make progress.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Don't just celebrate without actually making improvements.
Right, that's true.
Yeah. So if you be a goal-oriented person, that'll kill all of that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You just get some goals, and so you'll have a reason to celebrate. So, okay, like, you just had a birthday, and I'm getting ready to have a birthday next week. You see what I'm saying? You want to say your age?
33.
33. You 33, I'll get ready to be 25 next week.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But that all just says, bruh, that we have a reason to make goals for ourselves to do better in this next year of life. You see what I'm saying? And you'll have a reason, you know what I'm saying, to go out for a drink or, you know what I'm saying, have a good time. You see what I'm saying? Not just because, I'm just a new age. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just celebrating because I'm a new age. But nah, you really have a reason to celebrate yourself because, like, you accomplished something. You see what I'm talking about? So
Succeeded in life.
Right. So, man, I also wanted to talk about how sometimes we are reward driven. You see what I'm saying? And I want to kind of get into depths with that because it's personal. You know, I want to speak on a more personal level because I was thinking about it last week about how, you know, I was going to church. You know what I'm saying? I go to church more often now than I have been doing recently.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we can do those things. We can do self-improvement things because of our circumstances.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's not really because you want to be better. It can be just because, like, I'm going through right now, so I need to go.
Right.
You feel me what I'm saying? So it put in my heart that I want to be honest in everything that I do.
Most definitely.
You see what I'm saying? Not just because, like, okay, it looks good. You know what I'm saying? Not just because, it feels good. You see what I'm saying? It's not so much about a reward. It's actually because you want to be better from the inside, from your heart.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You see a need for it. And I think, sometimes we won't go after things because we don't like the rewards. Like, it'll be something that we can completely need. It can be something that we can completely need to do, and we know we need to do it.
Right.
But because the reward is not like we want it, or the reward doesn't match what we won't do it.
Well, nah, it's not that the reward don't match what you want. It's the time.
Okay, elaborate.
It's the time. It's the time it take to get the reward.
Oh, facts.
Yeah, it's not about what the reward is. It's like how long I gotta wait to get the reward.
Wow, it's good. It's crazy you said that. It's crazy you said that, bro.
But it's like, that's why, man, you have to fall in love with the process of whatever you're doing.
Talk.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to really, and your results are based on your motives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your results.
Your true intentions.
Exactly.
Your true intentions.
Exactly. So whatever your motive is, that's the thing that's actually driving you to do whatever it is that you're trying to progress in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if your motives are not right, then expect those same results.
Exactly. And that's why you have to be honest.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's that's really what you're saying. Like, you have to be honest in your heart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The reason why you're doing the thing.
Exactly.
Because, you know, like what we saying, like the reward, I mean, it might not be. You see what I'm saying? You might have a thought in mind of what you want.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But like you were saying, like, you might not want to go through with it because of what it takes.
Exactly.
Which is the process which you was talking about.
Right. And that's just like, you know what I'm saying? Some people want to be doctors. Some people want to be lawyers. You know what I'm saying? But then you got some people say, shoot, I don't want to be no doctor. Why? Because you got to stay in school so long.
Right.
So
Yeah.
It's like if I could be a doctor in 6 months, oh hey, run it. You feel me?
Right.
You know, because then you get the benefits of having that kind of salary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like it's a lot of benefits that come along with going through, you know, becoming something like in that line of, like, I guess, greatness or success. You know what I'm saying? But it take time though.
Great point.
Yeah.
So, man, that leads us to here. It's crazy that you talked about the time, because I did want to go into, patience. And, life is all about choices, man. And, whatever decision you make, you're not going to get instant results all the time from those choices and decisions that we make.
Nah.
So in between those times, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have patience.
Most definitely.
And you know what patience is? Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay without trouble or suffering. You know what I'm saying? You can tolerate it. You can tolerate the difficulties of waiting with patience.
Right.
And, you just talked about, the time in between that time, waiting for your reward, you know what I'm saying, of whatever you're going after.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In order to get there, you're going to have that patience.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And without that patience, you won't be able to get through that process of that hard work or whatever triumph that you got to reach. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's going to all take that patience. And without patience, bro, without that faith, you got to have faith along with that patience too.
Right.
So let's kind of talk about that, because all of these things that we're talking about, bro, is a discipline. And that's why I said that life is all about choices, because it's discipline.
Right.
You're saying each choice or each decision that you make, bro, you got to kind of stick to it. It's a discipline to stick to something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even to make that decision to say, hey, I'm going to patiently wait on something. That's a discipline.
Right.
Because that's something that don't come natural.
Right.
Being able to wait on things for long periods of time, even if the going gets tough, that's not average. An average person don't just,
Yeah.
It takes a mind. It's a mindset. It's a way that you look at things for you to be able to accept the wait and to accept the process that you have to go through in order to get the reward. Mm-hmm. So what do you feel about that, bro? Like, how important patience is to you, as far as like any process of going from one place to another?
Well, I mean, it's very important. You know what I'm saying? It's very important to have, because like you said, it's a discipline. And like I said before, man, this is something that you got to practice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to practice, because I definitely feel like, I am, impatient a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like to wait for things. So, and that actually, puts you in a position to kind of set you back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because something that you're supposed to go through, you might try to go around it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you will face something that you needed in what you tried to go around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Each situation, you know what I'm saying? Each situation prepares you for the next situation.
Right.
That's why you have to wait.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what patience, like, you have to wait. So every situation, like when you go through something and the next situation, that situation prepares you for that situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's where the value comes from.
Right.
Like in waiting. Like the value comes from in like travailing, or like going through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like you speed the process up, then the benefits are not the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Talk.
But if you go through like continuously and learning from each situation to the next, learning from each situation to the next, that's why, man, patience is very important. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have discomfort. Like is being patient is not comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it does sometimes put you in situations that are uncomfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's when you gotta like really be in love with like whatever you doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because those are the times that's gonna prepare you for the end result. You know what I mean? That's why, man, like patience is very important, man.
Right. And that's why that proves the point, bro. That proves the point that it is a discipline. And it takes us back to when I said that life is about choices. Mm-hmm. So this is what I feel that life is all about. Mm-hmm. It's like you questioning yourself. It's like what needs to be done versus what I want to do.
Right.
You know, what's most important?
Right.
What are my priorities?
Right.
So it's like every day, bro, you have to make decisions.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We always have a battle every day about what I need to be doing and what I want to do.
Right.
Like that's a constant battle. Mm-hmm. Like because we know right from wrong, we know what we need to be doing and we know what we don't need to be doing.
Most definitely.
So every day, like you said, some things feel good. Right. Like we talked about in the beginning, the celebrations, just to feel good.
Right.
And we do things.
Right.
Knowing that we might not need it. It might not be what we need, but it's something that we want, and we make decisions on what we want over what we need to do.
Right.
And you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, those disciplines of going after things worthwhile, you know what I'm saying? Setting goals and, you know, making daily improvements
right.
according to those goals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's life. Life is all about progress.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not going forward, you're going backwards.
Right.
And if you stand still, that means you're not doing nothing at all, so you just as useless.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, hey, man.
Nah, man. I 100% feel that. You know what I'm saying? I 100% feel that. But you definitely, man, have to be honest with it, you know, and whatever it is that you wanted to succeed in, like you know, you got to be willing to stick in it and take all that comes along with it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be willing to just, you know, sit in it. You know, that's why I said, man, we got to fall in love with the process.
We wanted to kind of go to the comment section on this episode and get back involved with you guys because we haven't. And you guys' perspective is valuable. And we're talking about something that I feel like everybody can relate to as far as making decisions on a daily basis. You know, we talked about that instant gratification versus delayed gratification. And every day, like I just said, bro, it's all about what needs to be done versus what we want to do. Mm-hmm. And that's really the decision that we have to make as far as like wanting things instant and having to wait for them. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's everyday life, bro. Mm-hmm. That's literally everyday life. Yeah. It's a battle, you know what I'm saying, between what I need to be doing and what I don't want to do. Right. What I feel like doing, what I don't feel like doing. You see what I'm saying? And we toward, you know, it's a personal thing, and sometimes we just lead towards the things that are easier. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right.
I mean, and it is personal.
Right.
It is personal because, like, who knows you better than you? So, in a fight with you, who gonna win?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I tend to be more lenient towards me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Versus putting up a fight towards, you know, myself, because it's me.
Right.
You know? So, man, you can be in love with yourself, but it's only to a certain extent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Because you'll give yourself a whole lot of leeway.
Man, it's really self-destruction.
It really is. And that's what that's procrastination.
And like I'm reading this book, man, like I told you about As a Man Thinketh. And it really goes into depth about where actions come from. And you see what I'm saying? You know, actions just only stems from our thoughts. You know, thoughts are actions, and actions, you know, are circumstances.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Actions create circumstances in your life because circumstances is just the results of your actions.
Right.
So it's like, down to it is really about the thought process and how you see things, and how you see things, really how your life is going to be based on the decisions that you make, that we to make every day, what needs to be done versus what we want to do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And our life is, you know, whether we want to face it or not, you know, it's a direct result of how we think, and we really can't blame nobody. Like you said, when you're looking in the mirror, you only see you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And it's, you know, it's according to the decisions that we make individually.
Right.
So it's just that we got to have better habits and have better disciplines.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we can make better decisions.
Oh yeah, man. Because the decisions that we make is gonna shape the reality that you're living in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And based on how much, you know, you love your reality, like that's what's gonna determine, like, the situation that you in. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, but the lesson of it all, man, the lesson that we wanted to bring out on this podcast is that we want to be deliberate on what we do. You gotta be really deliberate and honest with what you do, and it's not all about feeling good. That's the point I wanted to make from the beginning when we're talking about celebration without progression, because that tends to be a culture that we continue to keep alive. That's a tradition that we continue to keep alive.
Oh yeah.
And individually, we have to make that decision personally that, hey, if I celebrate, I need to make some progress first.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I need to set some goals, you know, and then when I accomplish that goal, you know, and that's how you live a balanced lifestyle. This is what I'm saying? Like, we live life unbalanced sometimes. You see what I'm saying? And that'll balance it out. Like, too much of anything isn't good. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm saying, like, celebrating is good in its place.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? With progress. With progress, I feel like it's the perfect time to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Less celebration just to feel good or just to say, hey, I ain't got much joy in my life, so let me go party. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, that's not really going to solve any problems. But what will solve a problem is, like, actually looking at the problems and actually trying to solve them.
Right, right.
Make that a goal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Instead of going to celebrate, trying to feel good to get away from the issues, actually make it a goal to actually face the issue.
Right.
That can be a goal.
Right.
That can be a goal for you to actually face the problems that's causing you to feel discomfort, feel unhappy.
Yeah.
That's a goal that you can actually set, and that's a reason that you can actually celebrate.
That's true.
It's another way that you can look at it. Yeah. And that's all we're doing. We're just shining light on another perspective, because this is a way to change with the problem that we're talking about. Because in our culture, this is an issue, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is an issue. The instant mentality, bro, is an issue.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, this is just spreading the perspective and spreading an awareness and bringing it to people's attention about it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we can start to change it, and that's all we're doing, bro.
Right.
So I thank you guys for joining tonight. It really was a pleasure to get on here and talk about it. You know, talk about these things in such a short time that we did, because it's something very important, and I want you guys to actually think about it. Think about the choices and decisions that we make on a daily basis, and I feel that each decision should be lined up. It should be in line up with what we really want. Right. You know, our true self.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's because, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, every action, whether we know it or not, whether we are conscious of it or not, like, every action came from a deep desire within us.
Right. Right. Oh, definitely.
You see what I'm saying? And sometimes we get into situations and we wonder how we got into situations, but if we really take a look at it, it stemmed from something that beneath, you know what I'm saying? Something beneath that we actually wanted. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way, like I told you, this book I'm reading, like, it's really making me see, like, there's no way bad things could happen from
doing what you're supposed to do.
Aligned thoughts. I'm not saying, like, you just gonna have a perfect life.
No.
Like, because life happens and things happen to you, like, true enough.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, the base and the foundation. If the base and the foundation of your thoughts are positive and forward going, there is no way they can produce
negative results.
Backwards results, negative results, you know, results that's gonna take you backwards.
Right.
There's no way.
No.
Like, how can that happen?
No.
Because it's written that you will reap what you sow. So if you sow good, you will reap good.
Right.
So you can't sow bad and get. You see what I'm saying? You can't sow bad and get good.
No.
Because good can only come from good, right, and bad only come from bad.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Corn can only produce more corn.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? A seed can only produce what it is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, like, it's a direct result. Like, our life is a direct result of the decisions that we make. We just gotta be more deliberate. You
right.
feel me?
Right.
Be more deliberate and execute on the things that's gonna push you forward.
Right.
Instead of going backwards,
right,
bro. Because we already know life is about progression.
Most definitely.
And if we're going backwards, we dying.
Right.
So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And we're gonna get this link, man. We're gonna get it all together. We appreciate your patience. We appreciate your patience, man, because we got to get our podcast on other platforms, and we're gonna do this for you guys. very, very soon. We was planning to do it this episode, but I'm not sure what's wrong with it. We got to really get on here and maneuver through it, but we're going to have the link for you guys really, really soon. We'll be able to actually send out the link and have our podcast on not Shopify, but Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other platforms like that. So thank you for you guys for tuning in. Take this as a lesson because we're taking it in personally. Don't think we're just getting on here talking, because we got to practice what we preach, and we just spreading light, and we just spreading perspectives and letting you guys know, you know what I'm saying, that these things need to be worked on, because we are all in it together and to be better. So, hey, I'm the CEO, Mr. Best.
CFO, Mr. Best.
Thank you guys for tuning in for episode 16 of Financial Fast Talk Podcast, and see you guys next week.